Hello everyone, I am Riddhi Jaju, an assistant professor in Biani Girls College. Today I am going to deliver a lecture on the topic Constitutional Development of Indian Administration. And this topic is mainly related with the development of administration regarding various sort of acts. So let us understand the constitutional development of Indian administration in the light of Govt of India Act 1919 and the Govt of India Act 1935. So first of all, let us understand what were the basic features which were found in the British Empire, in the rule of British Empire, as well as what are the features which has been carried as a legacy or a part of the Indian administration. For example, we see that district administration, the post of district collector, which was created by Lord Warren Hastings in 1772, and the revenue administration, the budgetary process, central secretariat services, all India services, civil services, and many more features reflects that the British administration has given a legacy or has given salient features in the Indian administration. So we can say that the roots of Indian administration are found in the British Constitution. Many acts were started and they led to the development of the Constitution regarding the Indian administration. For example, Regulating Act in 1772, Pitt's India Act in 1784, Govt of India Act in 1909, 1919 as well as in 1935, and many more acts like Indian Council Act of 1861, 1858 and Indian Independence Act, that is 1947, which made India an independent nation. So today we will discuss studying political science. So today, Govt of India Act, which was introduced by Montagu Chelmsford. There were two important Britishers who introduced this act. That's why it is also known as Montford reforms. Montagu, that is Mont, and Chelmsford, that is Ford. This is the split of the word Montford reforms. Now, the basic feature of this act was diarchy. Diarchy is nothing but a Greek word derived from a Greek word which is di and archy. As we know, the di means double. So diarchy is nothing but the double rule, the dual rule which was adopted by the Britishers. So what was the double rule? Let us understand. It was that there were two subjects. The first one is central and the second one is provincial. The subjects were divided into two categories. Central subject under the control of the central government. As we know that the term central is nothing but central, that is reflecting the administration adopted at the center. And the second is provincial, which was related only with the provinces. So the diarchy was introduced at this stage. It was that the concept, the provinces were divided into two categories, the subject of the provinces into two categories splitted, that were transferred and reserved. Now, what was that? The reserved subjects were under the control of the Governor General and his Executive Council, and they were completely not responsible to the Legislative Council. They were not made responsible. They were completely an authority, or they were the dictator who deals with the subjects. For example, the subjects like external affairs, the subjects like defense, armed forces, and many more important subjects were concentrated in the hands of the governor. And the second is transferred subject. Transferred means which were delegated or which were transferred in the hand of Indian ministers. So these subjects were under the legislation of Governor General, and he was given the aid of Indian ministers. So here some part of direct element of democracy was seen. But the main thing is that this part or this subject is not responsible to the Executive Council. They were made responsible in some cases, like they have to be responsible to the governor, the ministers have to be responsible to the governor. But certainly, gradually after a few time period, the subjects which were enacted were made responsible to the Legislative Council, and these were not responsible. So the transferred subject even given the element of direct democracy but still under the control of the Britishers. So this was the double rule or diarchy. The second feature was direct elections. The concept of direct elections was started by the Act of Government of India Act 1919. What was it? There were many ministers which were being made a part of Governor General Council. For this purpose, the elections were started. And the third element is bicameralism at center. Bicameralism means there were two chambers. Today we see that in the parliament there are two chambers, that is Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. Similarly, the beginning of bicameralism was started with this act. There were two chambers, namely Legislative Assembly and Legislative Council. Legislative Assembly, which was known as the lower house, and today it is known as Lok Sabha, and Legislative Council, which was not dissolved and known as upper house. Similarly, today we see its reflection in the form of Rajya Sabha. So this is all about the Government of India Act 1919. And as we know that the provisions of the Government of India Act were introduced and were followed till 1947. Or I can say that the Government of India Act 1919 successfully implemented some of its features till India became independent. Now in the next session we will discuss about the Government of India Act 1935 along with its features. So this is all about Government of India Act 1919. I hope that you have understood, and thanks for listening me. Thank you.